Alrighty. Um, just like when I read chapter 2, I'm going to read chapter 5 so that you can get through the reading easier since we're not reading it together in class. And then use the reading and the read aloud and any notes you take to help you on your exit ticket. Okay, so chapter 5, how to read physical maps. Physical maps show the easy route. Learning how to read a map makes locating places a lot easier. But once you locate a place on a map, how can you find the best route to get there? So the big question is, what does a physical map reveal that a city road map does not? One way to find the best and easiest route to take is by looking at a special kind of map. So far, you've been looking at maps that show roads, towns, cities, and state and national boundaries. These maps tell you where places are located. They also tell you, uh, excuse me, they also help you figure out the distance between places. However, these maps do not show you what the land itself looks like. You might want to know about routes that cross mountains and valleys. What you need is a physical map. This is a special type of map that shows the physical features of the land. A valley is an area of low land bordered by land of higher elevation. A physical map is a type of map that shows the distribution of one or more of Earth's physical features. For example, taller land areas, such as mountains, and lower land areas, such as valleys. A physical map can show you things like hills, mountains, and valleys. And here we have it kind of scored back such a beautiful picture. Almost looks like a Bob Ross painting. Maps can also provide information about physical features, such as these majestic mountains. Now, the reason why this is useful is, let's say you are looking at a map and you think, okay, I'm going to travel from this state to this state. Hey, look, why can't I just not just go straight through? Well, maybe because the map's not showing you a mountain right there or a river. How are you just going to go through that? So that's where physical maps come in. Here's a physical map of the United States, and the key it talks about the evaluation, elevation. So if it's over 13,001 feet, you're going to get this darker color. So those are high points. And if it's only 0 to 660 feet, you're going to get this green color. Our caption here says, this physical map shows elevation in different areas of the United States. Physical maps can show features such as bodies of water, the types of plants that grow in an area, rain and snowfall in an area, and more. Different types of physical maps can show different features. Some physical maps give information about the elevation or height of the land. Some maps use lines to show elevation. Others, like the one on page 46, use colors and shading to show elevation. So elevation is the height of something on maps. Elevation is shown as the number of feet above or below sea level. Look at the map titled Physical Map of the United States found on page 46. From the map, you can see that there are two main areas of mountains in the United States. There is one long mountain range in the east called the Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachians run in a line that roughly follows the east coast of the United States. The other area of mountains is in the west. There are several ranges in this area. The biggest is the Rocky Mountains. The Rockies run from Canada southward through the American Southwest. You can see that mountains cover much of the western United States. These mountains are shown in different colors on the map. In fact, all land areas of the United States appear in color. For example, places where the land is low are shown in green. Yellow shows land that is higher in elevation. Light brown and red mean that the land is very high. The highest land, the highest mountain peaks, is colored purple. Shading also helps show the location and shape of the mountains. So a mountain range is a line or group of mountains, so a bunch of mountains together. And a peak is the top or highest point on a mountain. So again, when we're looking here, we can see the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains. We can see the different colors. As it's shared, when you look at this, you can kind of get an idea of what do these mountains look like. So what parts are higher, what parts are still high, what parts go down. Now we're getting a side view of land elevation, and the caption here says, "This view of mountains and valleys uses different colors to show elevation." Understanding a physical map. To help you understand the colors on a physical map, look at the image of the mountain scene in the diagram on page 48. The lowest part of the image is a valley. The valley is colored green. Look at the elevation key next to the image. The green color shows elevations from 0 to 1,640 feet. That means that the valley is between 0 feet and 1,640 feet in elevation. Now imagine you are a bird. You're flying, looking directly down on the mountains from above. Look at the diagram on page 50. This shows a bird's eye view, or how a bird might see the land from above. It shows areas of higher and lower elevation using color. Again, a bird's eye view is an idiom, and it's a view of something from above. So you're thinking of as a bird was flying and they're looking down, what would they see? So first we're going to go back to this diagram on page 48. And again, the higher you go in elevation, the color turns more purple. And the lower we are, we can have we can see a green color. So here is the image as a physical map, and here you can see what the actual mountains look like. And if we looked at page 50, we're getting a bird's eye view. So this is if we were flying from above, we can see what the picture looks like of the actual Earth, but this physical map kind of helps us see it better. We can see what part of the mountains are the highest, where is the land and mountains the lowest in elevation. So notice the part of the mountain that is colored yellow. This color shows the same part of the mountains as the yellow on the first image. It shows the part of the mountains that is 1,641 to 3,280 feet high. Now look at the part of the mountain that is colored red. How high is that part of the mountain? Let's go. Red is 6,561 to 13,000 feet. I apologize, it's kind of late. And here again, you see it here. So it's very high, not as high as the purple, but high up there. The purple is the peak, so it's the highest part of the mountain. You can learn useful information by looking at an elevation map. For example, suppose you want to get the best view of the surrounding land. Where would you go? You would climb one of the peaks, of course. These peaks are shown as the purple areas on both images located on pages 48 and 50. What if you wanted to build a railroad through this area? Where would you put it? You would not put it across the purple areas. The land is steep and high. Instead, you'd build it through the green area. That is where the elevation is low. So if I needed to create a railroad or passage from this area land to this area land, though ideally you would like to just go through it, that's going to be very difficult to make roads and railroads that go up a very high mountain and then down the mountain and through the rocks and peaks. So it would be better on the flatter terrain in the lower elevation to go around the mountain. So the caption for this image says, "This is a bird's eye view of the same scene shown in the diagram on page 48. How do the two diagrams differ?" So we still have the same colors, we still have the same key, but here you're getting a side view of the mountain, and here you're getting a bird's eye view. So you can see how colors can be used to show the elevation of the land. You can learn a lot about the land by studying an elevation map. However, this kind of map has some limits. For example, look at the bird's eye diagram again. Notice that all three mountain peaks are purple. The purple means the peaks are over 13,000 feet high. One peak may be 13,000 feet high, another may be 13,500 feet high. You cannot tell the difference between the two in this diagram. Sorry, my nose was itchy. Now back at the physical map of the United States on page 46. The elevation key tells you how high the land is. How high are the Great Plains? Most of this area is shaded yellow and light brown. That means the elevation is between 1,641 and 6,560 feet high. Which mountains are higher, the Rocky Mountains or the Appalachian Mountains? The Rocky Mountains are higher. They are shaded red and purple. That means much of the land is more than 6,561 feet above sea level. Some of it is more than 13,000 feet above sea level. The Appalachians, on the other hand, are shaded yellow and light brown. They measure between 1,641 and 6,560 feet high. You mentioned sea level. Let's look at that vocabulary. It says that is the land that is the same elevation as the surface of the sea or ocean. Finding your way on an elevation map. You may be wondering how you can use this information. Here's one way. Take a look at the map of Adventure Valley on page 53. You and your friend are spending the day exploring the area. You start at Butterfly Meadow. It's on the east side of the map, near the stream. Your goal is to reach Hidden Treasure Cavern. As you can see, there are two trails to Hidden Treasure Cavern. You decide to take Pony Path, or you could take Pony Path or Brook Trail. You and your friends can't decide which one to choose. Look at your map. What does it tell you about the trails? So let's go take a glance. And I think I'm going to have to move. Okay, so we are looking at the elevation map of Adventure Valley. We start at Butterfly Meadow, and we want to get to the Hidden Treasure Cavern. Now, we can start by going through the pony path. We can take Brook Trail, which will take us around. Now, here, we get pretty high up, over 1,000 feet. So it looks like we start going, and we head more higher and higher on the elevation and then you're going to have to come back down that elevation. Whereas on Brook Trail, we might feel as we're going longer around, but we're staying on flat land. So by using this elevation map of Adventure Valley, you can find the easiest and quickest routes to visit the places you want to see. On the map, the area around Butterfly Meadow is shown in green. Look at the elevation. Green is land that is between 201 and 400 feet high. Pony Path goes up Peacock Hill. It climbs from green to pink and then to dark green. Next, it crosses into purple and orange. Hidden Treasure Cavern is shown in the green area, which tells you that you will first climb from Butterfly Meadow all the way to the top of Peacock Hill. Since the top is colored orange, you know that the elevation would be over 1,000 feet. Brook Trail follows Salamander Stream. The map is colored green for all of the way, which means your trail will be level all the way. Do you want to climb up the hill and then hike down the hill again to Hidden Treasure Cavern? Or do you want to follow the level trail to get there? Of course, you might also think about the distance. Using a string to measure, you'll find that the distance along Pony Path is about 5 miles. The distance along Brook Trail is over 10 miles. Do you want to walk 5 miles with a big hill or 10 miles on flatter trail? You have to pick, because it kind of depends on your preferences. After visiting Hidden Treasure Cavern, you plan to hike to Camp Arrowhead. Again, you have a choice of 2 trails. Which trail will you choose and why? You can see, but being able to read a map is so important. So after we're done visiting here, we want to get to Camp Arrowhead. So we can take Brook Trail and come around on flat land, or we can take Billy Goat Trail and we will go up on the hill and back down the hill, but we don't get too high. However, remember, the purple says anywhere between 801 to 1,000 feet. So we don't really know what that part is. We can assume it's lower because it is closer to the green. So if I were to measure from here to here using the scale, then Billy Goat Trail would be faster. You have to be hiking up and then hiking back down. Whereas Brook Trail is going to be longer, but it's going to be flatter. Right, thanks for reading with me. Use this read aloud and the text and any notes you've taken to help you on your assignment.